Shock Monkey Radio is entertainment for adults, by adults, and the views and opinions expressed here do not reflect upon the sponsors or FXBG Public Radio. For additional information, please refer to the United States Bill of Rights. Stand warned.
Audio issues.
The audio working?
The audio's working, but there's some weird stuff happening. I'm gonna fix it.
You're going to fix it, huh?
Not reflect upon the spot.
That sounds okay to me.
Please refer to the
That's the warning. He's warning us.
It's crunchy.
Oh, it's crunchy. Perfectionist. I got a perfectionist here. Sorry, folks. Screwed up my cold open.
Sorry. It's a warm open now.
It's warm open? Okay. Thanks for warming us up. Former President Trump, what would you say to your detractors who say that your rhetoric causes political violence? I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. Could you say that again in my good ear? I'm telling you, that's what he needs to start doing, ladies and gentlemen. When anyone says something like that. I'm sorry, I did, because I got shot in this one. But say it again in the good ear. He should start doing that. It wouldn't surprise me if he did, Anyway, we're definitely going to be talking about Trump. We're definitely going to, because there's nothing else really going on. So we're definitely going to be talking about all that. But I got some lighter subjects as well, so we can get our minds off of it. Because you can't be, following this stuff 24/7. I know I read a lot of news. I know I follow a lot of news. But, you got to get some healthy space away from it every now and then. Welcome to Shock Monkey Radio. I am your host, the Madman. You can follow me on social media over here on Twitter. I don't want to call it X. At Denal, it's all this word wasteland spelled backwards. Or Instagram at SLRobbins13. Don't bother trying to find me on Facebook unless you're dating in my area. Because Facebook has become where I swipe now. It's hot, yes sir. The Lily Gaddis girl? Have I mentioned her? The Lily Gaddis girl? She followed me today, so I'm in a good mood. I've interacted with her a couple times on the Twitters, and she followed me today because I was asking about her dryer problem. If it's drywall, I can help. If not, sorry. But she followed me today, so that makes me feel a little good. I'm in love with her. That's all. Not in a dangerous way, because the only one that's going to hurt is me. It's just going to break my heart. I know that because she's way out of my league. And she did a video where she went on a jog, and I'm watching her stretch and stuff like that. I said, I can't watch this. You are not my wife, and there's no way I can sit here and watch this video of you stretching and then jogging, especially if you're going to get sweaty. There's no way I can watch that and not have impure thoughts. You are not my wife. So she's so hot, she makes me want to be a gentleman, even when watching her content, and that's the point, is that she's a 10. Her body is a 10. Her face is a 10. Her personality is a 9. She's a little high energy for me, but that's okay. And it's just when you've spent so much time swiping past all these mediocre girls in the world today, and it's like being single over 40, it's a nightmare. And I know I'm 20 years older than her and stuff like that, and it's never going to happen. I know I'm the only one who's going to get hurt, but I'm okay with it. All right. But you see someone that high quality, when you see someone that is so incredibly wifeable, you're like, hey, you are incredibly wifeable. Let's make the wife thing happen with me and you. No? Okay, that's fine. I understand. I own a mirror. But I want to help you find a high-quality husband. I want to make sure he is a man that is far better than me. You are that gorgeous, and we need more people like you in the world. And so I don't know. It's been so long since I felt that kind of attraction to a woman, and it's to the point where I'm almost platonic about it. We need to get you a husband, and he's got to be the best of the best. And considering how hot you are, I'm surprised you're having trouble at all. And so, yeah. Oh, she said the N-word once. So what? So what? That's what I like about her. She speaks her mind. She has a personality. Back when I was crushing on Rebecca Felgate, she and I never really, agreed on anything political. In fact, I don't think she ever talked about anything political. And then she left YouTube, and I was like, I can't feel like I'm having a conversation with you anymore. And that's why, that's why I watch these Lily Girls video. I feel like I'm having a conversation with her. I'm like, whatever you're cooking looks disgusting, but yeah, tell me more. I'm very interested in this rant. But it is distracting because she'll I got to wash my hands. She'll turn around and she's wearing the jean shorts, the tight jean shorts. And I'm like, and then she'll turn back around and start talking right back in the same subject again. I have to blink a couple times. Oh, right. Yes, I'm paying attention to this. Yes. It reminds me of Megyn Kelly. I can't watch Megyn Kelly's videos because halfway, 10 minutes in, I'm just like, I want to kiss you. You're beautiful. But when Lily talks, I like that. I can deal with that. Just don't wear the shorts. They distract me. You should be wearing a lovely dress. And, it's like, I can't imagine. It's like whatever you're wearing is like, I don't know. It's not deserving of you. It's not good enough for you because you're so pretty. Anyway, enough about my pointless infatuations. You know what I mean? All right, we're going to be talking about the Trump assassination attempt. It's weird because I was thinking last week, it's like, boy, the last couple of weeks have been crappy news stories, and we had the audio problem last week with the news. Hopefully, we won't have that again today.
Yeah, no promises.
EK says no promises, so we'll see. And it's okay because I'm going to be talking about plenty of stuff before the news anyway, and that's why I just just chopped off the news last week. So just so you know, if I have to do it again, I'll do it again. It's no big deal. I was thinking, it was such a slow news week, and then this happened, and that assassination attempt on Donald Trump's life, and I'm like, oh, now it's one news story, so I don't know which is better, because I'm looking through the news what to talk about today that is not this, and there's very few stories that are not involved with this story, because it's the biggest news, I don't know, of the decade, maybe the last 50 years, a presidential assassination attempt.
When was the last time something like
81, Reagan? I think, well, unless you're counting like political assassinations of the congressional softball game where Steve Scalise got shot up and other people. That was some leftist wingnut, and I went out there trying to shoot at Republicans. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's a big deal. And look at that epic picture. Because this picture, it goes so hard, this is why liberals think that it's all staged. This picture goes so hard that they can't believe that it wasn't staged. And I'm conservative, I'm pro-Trump, and even I'm like, I don't know, that's a little too on the nose, isn't it? But that's America so hard right there. July. I knew it. I knew this July was going to be off the hook, and it really is, But I want to talk about, I think your phone's ringing, bro. So there's a lot of things to talk about when it comes to this. Don't make the camera turn. Don't make the camera turn. Robotic camera. You got to stay in its periphery.
Stay off shot.
Yeah, you got to stay in its peripheral vision. But there's a lot of things that went wrong on that day, on Saturday, when some jackass took a couple shots at Trump.
Yeah, she looks a lot better hugging him than trying to holster her weapon.
That's what it looks like. It looks like she's hugging him. It's like, save me, Mr. President. Because he's like 6'4", and she's a woman. And we'll talk about the ladies here a little later. But there's a lot of stuff that went wrong. And so I think I'm in the Gavin McInnes boat when it comes to incompetence is highly at play here. There's the incompetence of the Secret Service, all the way up to the top. All the way to the director of the Secret Service, all the way up to the Department of Homeland Security. A lot of questions about their objectives and their loyalties in many ways. All right? So you got incompetence on part of the Secret Service and the police. And no one ever around there ever said, hey, look at that roof over there that's 400 feet away, 450 feet away. If a guy with a rifle got up there, it's like, I don't even work in security. I just know how rifles work. So I find it hard to believe that there was nobody who in the Secret Service or the police who said, hey, that's curious that no one's up there on that building. So, I mean, A lot of
there was no aerial news coverage.
Yeah, there's no aerial news coverage, no drones, all this stuff, a lot of incompetence. A lot of incompetence is at play. Even incompetence on the part of the shooter. The shooter was a horrible shot. And it was a confluence of all this unqualified people that made this near miss happen. All right. So it could simply be a crisis of incompetence in our nation that leads to crappy Secret Service agents, crappy cops who are sitting there saying, waiting for a command, or like the Uvalde, Texas cops, saying, I'm waiting for an order. There's a guy climbing a roof with a rifle. I got these civilians in the crowd pointing out this guy with a rifle on top of the roof. And they're waiting for the go code or something like that. They're waiting for a higher up to give the order to do something about it.
I still disagree on the quality of the shot.
What do you mean? You think it was a good shot?
I saw blood.
I saw blood. It's a hit. Okay? But everyone who plays Call of Duty knows it's like you can't get a grazing shot like that and get the kill. And all you got to do is hope you get him before you just get an assist. All right?
That was mine.
It's a hit. All right? But you got to understand, it's like, that's 150 yards. I think in the Navy, we were qualifying at 200 yards. In the Navy. And I don't know if you know how much distance there is from the top of the ship to down. And that's where the Navy mostly uses their guns, unless they're in the SEALs or EOD or something like that. They're shooting from the deck of a ship down at borders. It's not very far. And I know I could hit a shot at 450 feet. This guy apparently, the shooter, he apparently went to, tried to get on the school shooting team, which is a weird way to say that. The shooting team at his school. And he didn't qualify. You have to be able to qualify to get on the team. All right. So it's a confluence of incompetence that day, or it could be, part of the incompetence is the whole DIE thing. The way the Secret Service has a female director, and as soon as she comes in, is like, we need to get 30% females in the Secret Service. And look what happened. Look what happened. That girl is hugging the president like, save me, Donald J. Trump. God bless her MAGA heart. But you got to understand, it's like, do you really think that woman is a Trump supporter? How about the rest of the Secret Service agents? None of them saying, like, oh, no drones? Then you have that one picture of the chick ducking behind the president. Then you had the footage of the one trying to get the chubby one trying to get the gun in her holster again. Failing. Struggling. Ponytails everywhere. And I'm sorry, women are not built for that kind of work. All right? The way she's crouched down, the way she's protecting herself, the way the other one crouched down and hid behind a man, the President of the United States, that's okay. That is perfectly natural for women to do that. They are far more important in combat situations for the survival of the species, for them to stay down and get covered in a dangerous situation. Let the men handle it. All right? It's okay for them to have that instinct. But they shouldn't be in the Secret Service. They shouldn't be in the police, and they shouldn't be in the Army or the Marine Corps or anything like that. That's just my sexist opinion, I guess. But I think DEI is very much a part of this incompetence problem that we have going on through this entire event.
DEI?
DEI. Didn't earn it. Diversity, equity, inclusion. Yeah, because you start putting women in these roles. Yeah, that means you have to start lowering standards. Because that's what you did to get them in, is you have to lower standards. And the reason why there's physical standards for things like the Secret Service and Army and so forth is so that you can fight other people. And the strongest types of people are men. So you better be a man if you need to fight a man. I don't know if you've ever seen footage of female cops trying to arrest a man. It's sad. All right. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be sexist, but women are magical. We need to protect them, and they shouldn't be in the line of fire. Was it luck or the Lord, Donald Trump? You turned your head at the last second. You looked away from the crowd to look at it like further than you normally would. And that bullet just grazes your ear. Was that luck or providence? Was that Jesus? Did you telling me God came down from heaven and stopped these motherfucking bullets? Yes. Yes, I think God did that. I think God is still looking out for America. I think God loves America because America was formed in loving service of God. Every single one of those people, our founding fathers, were Christians. They disagreed on plenty of things, but they were Christians, and they wanted to form a nation that served the purposes or the principles of a Christian life. And everything from the Declaration of Independence on has been that experiment, trying to make a godly nation that doesn't focus on religion. First Amendment. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion. But we've moved away from the principles. And that's why we've got crazy times upon us. I definitely think it was the Lord. If you don't believe in God, then go ahead and believe it's the universe. The universe wills that Donald Trump should live and lead us all, hopefully, into a new era of sanity. Let's talk about the shooter and the media's culpability. All right. This shooter was 20 years old. All right. That means when he was 12 years old, that's when the media really started tearing into calling Trump Hitler. He's going to be a fascist. He's going to be a dictator. He's the evilest evil that ever eviled. You know, that's when the media really started going hard on Trump for the last 8 years. So it went from the time that kid was 12 years old to 20. That's what the news was saying. And who wouldn't want to take a poke at Hitler? After all, the evilest person ever to exist was Hitler. Somehow Stalin doesn't enter that conversation, Pol Pot, anybody else like that. Anyway. But that kind of evil, and that's what you're saying he is, and you have some responsibility in the media. Maybe it's incompetence in the media as well, because you don't believe that you have any kind of culpability when it comes to saying all these awful things about a man that's going to cause some wingnut to go and take a shot at him. Alrighty? And I know people say...
It's almost like Trump was responsible for January 6th.
Yeah, well, that's what they say. I don't think so.
But you see the argument flipped the other way?
Yes, I do. I obviously see the argument flipped the other way. They're like, so the media is responsible for Trump getting shot. That's the same logic. If Trump is responsible for January 6th, ergo...
Right, that's what I'm saying.
I do. I understand what you're saying. All right? And it's a double standard. It's a double standard for them. You know, it's different rules for them than it is for us. And that's all there is to it. That's all there is to it. So when the media, you know, and the shooter, 20 years old, nothing on social media. Can't find anything on social media. In fact, the only piece of information you can find is that he's a registered Republican. That's odd. Why a Republican would want to shoot at a Republican presidential candidate. You know? That's odd. So, you know, don't think that I'm above thinking that there's not a conspiracy. All right? Absolutely. Competence could be the whole issue here. But don't think that I don't think that conspiracy could be involved. Because it's very odd that a 20-year-old kid would be so motivated to commit a political act and have no online presence. I find that hard to believe. So that makes me start thinking that maybe the FBI is involved, the Justice Department, you know? Because let's be honest about what's been going on with these, like the Justice Department and stuff like that. They've been going after Trump legally. Is it possible they're going after him physically now? Weaponizing the government against people? American people? That's a terrifying thought. But I think it's in Saturday night, the liberals had such blue balls. I'm telling you, they were whining and crying. That night, after he got shot at, and it was all over the news, they were already saying things like, oh, it was, he had a blood capsule that he rubbed on his ear. It was staged. It was a fake shot because this picture goes so hard. Because they don't understand heroicism when they see it. They don't get it. You know, they want to live their entire lives thinking that they're the heroes by exposing the truth about Donald Trump. and so forth. It's like, we're the heroes in this story. We're the main characters. No, Donald Trump is the main character. And that's why and you have to be heroic to be a main character. Sorry. Anyway, I thank the Lord that he's alive, because even if it was Joe Biden getting shot at, I would thank the Lord that he lived. All right? Because after all, you could say, oh, he was a registered Republican all you want. But as far as I'm concerned, if you pick up a gun and try to kill somebody, a political figure, you're no longer a Democrat or a Republican. The idea that you're a Democrat or Republican means that you believe that there's a peaceful and political way to redress the government for change. All right? Once you pick up that gun, you've forsaken every party there is. And you've become a terrorist, an assassin. And I feel sorry for that kid, because he was misled by the media. And the whole reason the media has been going after, he's a Trump, they even said, like, somebody should shoot him. It's going to take a bullet to stop Trump. And the reason they've been saying that for all these years is because they were hoping some jackass, some moron is going to believe it and take a shot at him. And maybe even facilitate it by not giving him drones. You know what I mean? Change the subject. I'm sorry. I don't, everyone's talking about it. I don't want to spend too long on it. So, and if we have to speed through the news, I don't mind. I got other things to talk about. GG, EK. GG. You have a GG on Monday? Yeah. GG on Monday. Good game, Gamemaster.
Oh, hell yeah. That was a lot of fun.
We had so much fun. We finally got to play our mutant animal game. I played my shock monkey character, the white-faced Saki mutant with shock gauntlets. And EK was playing two characters. I don't know why our new Game Master allowed that, but...
Well, technically,
I know
one of them wasn't in the fight.
Yeah, one of them wasn't in the fight, okay. But anyway, I wasn't the Game Master. Avery was the Game Master, and I knew it. First Game Master, and I knew he was going to be an awesome Game Master. And he slipped right into it. He like an old glove on O.J. Simpson's hand. Just he was, yeah. He's a performer at heart, absolutely. And that's how you can tell somebody's going to make a good Game Master. He's making up NPCs on the spot. He's giving them voices and acting and accents. It was great. Yeah, speech impediments. It was very, got the hippo, the mutant hippo. Hey, buddy, you want to buy this hammer? So you're
reluctantly selling his wife's crafts at the
market. Yeah, it's like, and your wife's the blacksmith. So I mean, it's a mutant animal campaign, and we're in the city of Norfolk, which is a safe animal haven for all the mutant animals after the bomb. And so we're all the cops, all the civil servants are dogs. The cops are all dogs. The firemen are all Dalmatians, and those bitches down at the DMV, let me tell you, And so I'm Shock Monkey. I'm a good guy. I want to get involved with the police force. I want to get involved with defending the society from the humans that want to kill all the mutants. And so I tried to meet some cops, ended up buying a fake ID. Didn't even look like me. It looked like a chimpanzee. I was a white-faced Saki. How they're going to know. And so they asked us to look in, see if we could find some underground fighting that's been going on. I was like, oh, I'm down for that. So using my streetwise skills, me and Scratch went down and found this underground fight club between mutants. Saw like a kangaroo get his ass handed to him, right? Yeah. And then we were up next, and we fought these Scratch and Shock Monkey fought these three East German mutant rabbits. What are they? Lance, Dance, and Paco? What were they called? Yes. And he's like, we're going to kick your ass, yeah. And, so I'm Shock Monkey and I'm a badass, we whooped their asses. But the whole time, Scratch, he's a mutant cat who's he's a ninja, Mutant Cat Ninja. He's got swords and everything, but he gets thrown into the crowd and stuff like that. And the jackrabbits, the rabbits are calling him Meatball to insult him. And the crowd picks it up and they're like, Meatball, Meatball, because he starts winning because he's a badass. He's a Mutant Cat Ninja.
Does not have the ability to express,
yeah,
and he does not
yeah,
like the nickname.
exactly. He can't talk. He uses psychic powers to communicate. So the meatball, and he's so mad. And then I knew EK resigned when he took his pencil and he went to the character sheet, quote, meatball. It's like, oh, that's how you get a nickname. That's how you get a nickname, my friends. And let me tell you something. If you are not playing role-playing games with your friends, you are missing out. You are not taking your friendship to the next level because you're sitting there making up ridiculous, funny, fun stories with your friends. It's like group writing. It's great. It's great. All right. Shut up, nerd.
It takes that whole conversation you used to have with your friends of, you know what would be cool?
Yes.
And then you played it out.
Yes. You know what would be awesome if, yeah, that's what you do. I'm going to talk about movies. I made the Madman movie reviews playlist on the YouTube channel. So if you want to just watch the movie reviews, there's a whole. I set those aside. No problem. No problem. But the problem is that I know that people like the movie reviews, and so I'm going to have to watch a bunch of movies because I don't know. I feel like I got to provide you that content, so I got to watch horrible movies, like another Stakeout. I watched. I watched another Stakeout. It's a 1993 flick. All right.
Does it hold up?
Does it hold up?
I laughed so hard in my youth watching that movie.
Yes.
It's still funny.
No. There was one situation, like in the middle of it, that I thought was hilarious, and but most of it I was just mad about, because it's 1993 and they're like, Stakeout was maybe a little too raunchy. We should do another Stakeout and throw a chick in there. It's like, why? Just to calm the testosterone down, and she's got to bring her dog with her too. Oh yes, and so I was like even in 93. There's like, oh, we got to have a woman in this movie. And I'm just like, I don't know. I understand. I mean, it was interesting seeing Rosie O'Donnell look so thin and almost cute, and then she starts talking and you're like, ugh. And then you realize, oh, I remember her now. Richard Dreyfuss is in it, of course, and Emilio Estevez. I don't know, somebody on the door? I don't know.
Is that happening out there?
I think so. Hanging out there. And Richard Dreyfuss is going through this thing with his girlfriend. She wants to get married, and he's arguing with her on the phone. And Rosie O'Donnell's like an FBI agent, I think. And she's leading them on the Stakeout to look at this mob boss guy, played by Dennis Farina. And Emilio they're going to play a couple, right? Husband and wife. Richard Dreyfuss and Rosie O'Donnell are going to play husband and wife. And Emilio Estevez is going to play their son from a previous marriage, and his mother's dead. So that's like the background. And so this dog leads them straight to the guy they're looking at, and they're like breaking all the rules of Stakeouts right away by introducing themselves. It's like, oh, you should come over for dinner sometime, to the people you're supposed to be watching. And it's all because of her and her dog. It would have been done right if she wasn't there and didn't bring her dog. All right. And generally, there's some funny little laughs throughout the movie, and that's fine. And everything, but Emilio Estevez, they told him, like, you got to shave your mustache because it makes you look younger, then you're more believable that you're our son. They're like, oh, okay, but he's mad. He's mad about they made him shave the mustache. And so when they meet Dennis Farina, he's like, hey man, that's a great mustache. That's a great mustache, which is a weird thing to say to somebody you just met, because he's still salty about having to shave his mustache. All right. But the funniest part in the movie is when they invite them over for dinner, because they got all this other drama going on, between Rosie O'Donnell and Richard Dreyfuss. Richard Dreyfuss is constantly calling his girlfriend, saying, yes, I want to get married, and are fighting with her and so forth. And like Dennis Farina overhears him have a conversation with this other girl, and Richard Dreyfuss screws up the name of his wife, his current wife, and he goes, oh, and he gives the first wife's name. He goes, oh, my first dead wife. He says it like that. And there's like, my first dead wife. And so have this mob boss over for dinner, and they showed these scenes where he's talking to his wife. And it's like where he's getting creeped out. He's getting like, it's like, oh my God, these people are psychopaths. Let's eat dinner. Let's get dessert and get out of here. These people are crazy. Which unintentionally is an excellent cover. If you freak out the guy you're supposed to be staking out, he's like, I want to stay away from those people. They're weird. And that's about the funniest part in the movie. So, another Stakeout, 6 of 13 stars. Just a few good laughs in it. It's a problem. I'm going to have to be watching more crappy movies. I watched, some I'm not even going to do. I watched As Above, So Below recently. Oh my God, is that so horrendously terrible. I blame Cloverfield. All right.
Cloverfield's messed up, though.
Yes, Cloverfield is like a roller coaster.
Because there's 3 movies.
Yes, I know. The third one
like,
was good.
And the way they tie together is so chaotic.
Yes, it is. It's a mess. I don't even want to talk. I'm never going to review Cloverfield, any of the Cloverfield movies. Just so you know. I don't know, unless they pop up on YouTube movies for free. And that's where I watch all my movies.
The
YouTube
one thing
movies.
you think is good was the one in space, right?
No. The one where in the house with like John Goodman. Yeah. Is that the second one?
Yeah, that's the second one.
Oh, okay. I thought that one was okay. Oop, hit the mic. My bad.
I thought the third one was phenomenal. That was the one that took place in space.
Yes. Trying to remember. I've tried to delete some of them. Some of them are just so terrible. Delete them. But there's some that like make you think. Like In Time. You ever seen that movie, In Time?
That's a good movie.
Yeah. I'd watch it 3 times before I decided to talk about it. And I understand why this movie was panned. Look at Amanda Seyfried. She is, she's another one of those chicks that looks like an alien, you know? And just like Emma Stone, you know? It's like...
strangely attractive.
Well, here's the thing. Emma Stone, Amanda Seyfried, totally would. But I'd be there in bed and she's sleeping and I'd be sitting there thinking, I'm pretty sure I'm part of some sort of hybrid alien experiment. And I don't care. And unfortunately, that's how aliens could do it because they know men well enough. Justin Timberlake doesn't do anything for me, though. It's the being a man thing that bothers. Doesn't do it for me. I was really upset that there's no Culture Club. Not one Culture Club song. And there's one in particular. Time won't give me time. You had perfect opportunity to use a Culture Club song. Now, I know a lot of people will like badmouth Culture Club and stuff like that, but, you know, I really like Culture Club. And I'm not ashamed to say it. All right? Really interesting lyrics. I like the lyrics because they're romantic and cynical. And I know it's all gay. I know it. But, you know, gay people sometimes make great art. Anyway, that's a little side note. But I watched In Time, and I had to watch it 3 times before I could really understand what I want to say about it. First of all, time is not money, and money is not time. I know a lot of people say time is money, but it's not. And money certainly isn't time. And no matter how much money you have, you're not going to be able to get any more time. That's just a fact of life. And the whole elevator pitch of this movie is like, yeah, there's little clocks on everyone's wrists, and everyone has to keep working to earn time. Well, how do you earn time? I was like, well, you know, you trade with people. So every single interaction is done physically between people. Or you could put the little carts, right? But most interactions are all physically with the little arm turns and that goofy strong arm game. You bet your time against other people. It's ridiculous. The society should have fallen apart long ago. All right? Time is not money. All right? And what are you doing? Implanting these bombs in every single kid's chest. You know what I'm saying? What is wrong with these people? You put these bombs in every person's chest when they're born, into babies. All right? Then at 25, their clock starts, and then they got to start earning time. All right? How do you download lifespan out of other people so that the rich people can live forever? How does that work? Biologically, explain it to me.
It's a movie.
I know it's a movie. That's why I'm mad at it. All right, so I don't get it. I don't get it. And look, if you were Justin Timberlake and your mom looked like Olivia Wilde, you wouldn't be able to trust any of your friends. It's like, you're just hanging out with me because you want to bang my mom. Because your mom looks like Olivia Wilde. You know what I mean? Everyone is trying to stay young. You know, you can live at 25, looking like you're 25 years old forever if you earn enough time. And so his mom looks 25, it looks like Olivia Wilde, and you couldn't trust your friends around her. And that's what I mean. It's like you meet up a guy in a club, right? Who's 130 years old. And you're only 60. But everyone looks 25. It's so absurd. How does it work, biologically speaking? All right. I really like Cillian Murphy's character, the timekeeper. I like zealot characters. I like characters who are zealots. You remember the villain from Serenity? The guy who was like, in more civilized cultures, people will fall on this sword. Excellent villain. And that's why I think Cillian Murphy did a really good job playing the timekeeper, because he was a zealot. He believed in the system. But he was very wrong. Yeah, why are you implanting bombs in babies? It's so twisted. This society should have fallen apart long ago. Alrighty? 9 of 13 stars, though. You made me think about it, you sons of bitches. Yeah, I think a lot of the critics said it was like poor in execution. I agree with that. All right, let's go through the news worth knowing pretty quickly. You got something to say?
I do. I think it's obvious how the tech works.
How's the tech work?
They're sentenced from birth. Kind of danced around it, but
sentenced from birth?
Yeah.
They're taking that.
They're given an amount of time from birth that the explosive device or something is planted in their heart.
Right, but it doesn't start until you're 25 years old. So maybe they're taking years from those young kids.
I never thought about that aspect of it. But as far as how the science and how the technology worked, is because there's a device that says at this time is when your heart stops. Society has created the science. It's not a biological thing, it's a scientific.
You're putting bombs in kids' chests.
Yes.
Babies' chests.
Yes, that's what I'm saying is happening.
Your society is messed up.
Well, that's the whole point of the movie, is that society's messed up.
Yeah. But it shouldn't have gotten that far. That's my point.
Yes. It is worth knowing.
Yeah. All right, so Secret Service under Homeland Security Inspector General investigation after Trump assassination attempts. Department of Homeland Security Inspector General's opened an investigation into the Secret Service handling, blah, blah, blah. In a brief notice posted to the Inspector General's website, the agency said the objective of the probe is to evaluate the United States Secret Service process for securing former President Trump July 13, 2024 campaign event during which there was an assassination attempt against Trump. No date given for when the investigation was launched. The notice was among a long list of ongoing cases that the Inspector General's office is pursuing. President Biden has already directed an independent review of security at the rally. See, that's what I mean. These are all people that hate him. Yeah. Maps. Every time there's a map on screen, my eyes are drawn to it.
Well, I think it gives you a good understanding of the way things were laid out.
Yeah. And
how it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Anyway. So Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle said in an interview on Tuesday that her agency is solely responsible for the implementation and execution of security there. See, in a responsible society, then you would resign. Cheadle told CNN that no assets from the rally were diverted on the day Trump was shot, even though other events for the state required Secret Service protection. On that particular site, we divided up the areas of responsibility, but the Secret Service is totally responsible for the design and implementation of the execution of the site. Cheadle, in a separate interview with the ABC News, said the agency was aware of security vulnerabilities presenting by the building crooks took a sniper's position on, aiming at Trump. All right, this is the quote that proves that she needs to be fired or resign. That building in particular has a sloped roof at its highest point. And so, there's a safety factor it should be considered when you don't want to put somebody up on a sloped roof. And so, the decision was made to put a secure building from inside. But, if you look at the sniper, they're on a sloped roof.
There's a safety issue.
Yeah.
That's why we send guys with guns.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be afraid of basic, I'm going to fall 8 feet.
That's what I mean. It's like she is a woman. She's looking for an excuse. She's not going to take accountability. I recently saw As Good as It Gets. How do you write women so well? I think of a man and I take away reason and accountability. There's something to that. All right? In a good society, you should step down because of failures on your part. For whatever reason, your personal bias, or you just didn't have the funding. You didn't want to send that many people. It was like, oh, that costs too much money. We got to save all this money to give to green energy projects.
And Ukraine.
And Ukraine. And Ukraine. Mother truckers. See, now I'm getting mad again. But then I can hop into it, hop out of it, and do stupid stuff like lose my place. So what else is in the news? Trump VP pick. J.D. Vance slammed. Biden's admin student local handout unfair and illegal. That is a terrible headline. Trump VP pick. J.D. Vance slammed Biden admin student loan handout. Unfair and illegal.
Trump VP pick, comma, J.D. Vance, comma, slammed Biden's admin's student loan handout. It's the grammar that's messed up, right?
First of all, it's too many words. It
should be commas, though. That's what
it does need commas, but it should be phrased. I'm trying to think of a way to phrase it differently.
Comma here.
It's like J.D. Vance, student loan forgiveness. Trump VP pick, J.D. Vance.
I got you. Unfair and illegal. Trump's VP pick slams Biden's ad. It needs to be reversed.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah.
It needs to be reversed.
Yeah, okay. I like to pretend I'm an editor. Anyway, so former President Trump's pick to serve as his running mate on the Republican ticket, Ohio Senator J.D. Vance, has been a staunch critic of the Biden administration's student loan handout as part of the White House's repeated efforts to cancel borrowers' debt. I think that's what it is. The student loan handout that he did. It needs a name for that or something. I don't know. It needs a name for that, like Bidenomics. You know what I mean? Because he's just giving money to people who can afford stuff anyway. So President Biden campaigned on forgiving student loan debt derived from undergraduate tuition at 2- and 4-year public universities for borrowers earning up to $125,000 a year. His administration developed the handout plan in the first year and a half of his time in office, and he announced in August 2022 he would move to cancel $10,000 per borrower and $20,000 per Pell Grant recipients. Biden's plan encountered stiff resistance from Republicans, with several states filing legal challenges, and Vance joining the ranks of vocal opponents in his 2022 U.S. Senate race against Democrat Representative Tim Ryan in Ohio. Forgiving student debt is a massive windfall to the rich, to the college-educated, and most of all, the corrupt university administrators of America. Vance wrote in a post on X in April of 2022, "No bailouts for a corrupt system. Republicans must fight this with every ounce of our energy and power." Thanks to Tim Ryan and Joe Biden, Ohio workers are paying off the loans of Harvard law students. This seems unfair and illegal, and it's because it is. I think you summed it up. Yeah, you chose to take on that loan for your education. Now you expect the people who have been working that whole time, and before and after, to pay your bill. I'd like a business loan. But no, I can only get free money for school. I don't even need you. I got the GI Bill. I think I can still use it. I don't know. But I don't want to go back to school. Apparently everyone over there is an idiot. EK left. I don't know what's going on. So I'm going to go on to the next story. Such ADD, I'm telling you. Armed man at ski mask arrested while approaching Republican National Convention perimeter in Milwaukee. A man armed with an AK-47 pistol and wearing a ski mask was arrested on Monday, just blocks from Fiserv Forum, where the Republican National Convention is being held in Milwaukee. Federal law enforcement source confirmed to Fox News. Homeland Security investigators and Capitol Police were conducting surveillance near the RNC perimeter when they noticed a suspicious man approaching. He was wearing a ski mask and carrying a tactical bag. Fox News' source confirmed. Inside the bag, police found a gun and a full magazine. His intentions were unclear. Milwaukee police confirmed the incident to Fox News, saying 21-year-old man was arrested around 1 p.m. on Monday in the 1200 block of North 11th Street. Police said the man does not have a concealed weapons license in Wisconsin or any other state. Charges are pending a review by the Milwaukee County District Attorney's Office. Oh, right, that's in Milwaukee. Fox News reached out to Secret Service about the incident and is referred to Milwaukee police. Fox News also reached out to Homeland Security investigators in the Department of Homeland Security, but has not yet heard back. This is not the only disturbing security concern to take place from the RNC. On Tuesday, a man was shot and killed by police about 2 miles away from Fiserv Forum. A witness told Fox News the man lived in a nearby homeless camp and was brandishing a knife when he got shot. Also on Tuesday, Representative Derek Van Orden from Wisconsin said he was assaulted by a protester. He said a member of Code Pink assaulted him when he was waiting in line to enter the venue. He called it an incident of political violence. Code Pink said the woman was intentionally bumped into by this bald white member of Congress while he tried to shove past her. The activist group denied Orden was assaulted. This all comes as Tuesday's theme of the RNC to make America safe once again, and former President Donald Trump is called to address crime in Milwaukee. Code Pink statement. Woo! Big loogie came out of my mouth. You saw it? Yeah, EK left. Yeah, Code Pink's statement was the woman was intentionally bumped into by this bald white member of Congress. Yeah, you sound unbiased and level-headed. Unreal. These people are unreal. They're evil. No accountability. Let's go to this next story. Trump calls widow a firefighter. Wish we could have changed what's on the screen, but EK left. Trump calls widow firefighter who died protecting his family. Helen Comperatore, of course, you probably heard of this firefighter who was at the rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. He was hit protecting his family, so she got a call from the President Trump. Widow of the volunteer firefighter who was shot and killed over the weekend at the Trump rally in Pennsylvania says the former president called her and he was very kind. She said, quote unquote, very kind. Helen Comperatore wrote on Facebook that Trump phoned her on Tuesday, 3 days after her husband Corey was struck with gunfire while trying to protect his family during the campaign event in Butler, according to the New York Post. He was very kind. He said he would continue to call me in the days and weeks ahead, the widow reportedly wrote. I told him the same thing I told everybody else. He left this world a hero and God welcomed him in. He did not die in vain that day. Helen Comperatore told New York Post on Monday that her husband's final words were, get down. Protect them. It's a man's job. Sorry. He's my hero, Helen Comperatore said in the newspaper from her home in Sarver, Pennsylvania. He just said, get down was the last thing he said. Me and the kids were all there as a family. He was just excited. It was going to be a nice day with the family. Corey Comperatore, who was 50, was a former fire chief of the Buffalo Township Volunteer Fire Company. The department now has a memorial set up outside this firehouse featuring Comperatore's uniform in order to describe, in honor, who they described as a brother, son, husband, father, and friend. Oh, Lord. A picture of her after he was hit. Whew. Heart-rending. Hell, I wish I could show it to you, but EK left. I don't know what to tell you. He also said President Biden tried to call her family following the incident, but said she didn't want to talk to him. I don't want to talk to Biden, she said. My husband was a devout Republican, and he would not have wanted me to talk to him. I don't have any ill will towards Joe Biden, Comperatore added, but I'm not one of those people who gets involved in politics. I support Trump. That's who I'm voting for, but I don't have any ill will towards Biden. Trump calls widow a firefighter. Yeah. There's a picture of her after the shot. It's heartrending. I want to show it. Yeah. There's another one if you scroll down.
She looks terrified.
Yes.
Is that like
right after her husband got killed? Yeah. There's another one there. That's heartbreaking right there. Anyway, Helen Comperatore has described the shooter at the rally, 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks. Despicable kid. You're correct. He faked it. Why would he shoot one of those? I love that theory. Is like he had hired somebody to shoot his ear. Who do you think? Even if you think that that's true, you have to respect the nuts of somebody to do something like that, wouldn't you?
If that's true.
If that's true.
Did you see the original Scream?
Original Scream? The first movie?
Yeah, Matthew Lillard.
Oh, getting stabbed?
They're
I'm getting woozy here, man.
Get me to the side, man.
Yeah.
Like, really, that's the level of psychosis.
That's a lot. Yeah, that's the level of crazy. Anyway. Let's go into two lighter stories and then we're out of here. I don't know. They may piss you off. So, man refuses to give up meat or alcohol for a temporary house guest at his home. Family of drama among 4 adults currently living under the same roof has drawn thousands of reactions over the past few days. Writing on the Reddit page known as AITA, Am I the A-hole, a husband and father shared that their stepson, Ben, who is 20, is living with family right now during summer break from college. About a month ago, he said, his stepson had asked whether he could move his girlfriend from college into his house for the rest of the summer because she's going through, quote, because she's going through a rough time at home. Wrote the man in the username Space Needed AITA. He wasn't fully on board with the idea because he already have 2 other kids, 11 and 9, in the house, and having 4 adults and 2 kids in their space is a lot. However, the man's wife apparently struggles to say no with their 20-year-old son, so now the young woman named Liv is living with us until they go back to school. There have been a few issues that have come up since Liv came. Pretty much all of them have to do with me, the man continued. He said, first, one of the big reasons Liv wanted to change her living situation is because her parents are alcoholics. Now, I don't drink every day, but I do have alcohol in the house, and I like to abide with a meal or sometimes, or have a few cocktails on the weekends. Sir, it doesn't matter how much you drink. Just want you to know that. This is triggering for Liv to see a parent drinking with kids around. He went on. Second, Liv is a vegan. We eat a lot of meat in our house because we're healthy. I added that. Pretty much every meal has a meat involved. I also hunt, so we eat meat that I have harvested, and I have a few mounts on the wall. This makes Liv especially uncomfortable. Things then came to a head. The man revealed that Ben and Liv sat down with my wife and me this past weekend and offered some suggestions to help make Liv's time here easier. Young couple had 3 ideas for fixing things around the house. First suggestion was that if I wanted a drink, I should do it in private and not around the kids. Their next idea was allow Liv to cook vegan meals for us so that we didn't eat so much meat all the time. She offered to do grocery shopping and meal planning to provide vegan meals for us instead of our usual meals. Finally, he went on, they asked if they could remove the mounts from the walls in the house until they go back to school in 6 weeks. When they finished, I asked if it was okay for me to talk now, and they said yes. And I said, get the fuck out of my house.
Not the asshole.
My house.
Not the asshole.
Not the asshole, obviously. I'm kidding. That's not what he said. I told them that my answer to all the suggestions is no. I told them that I appreciated Liv's offer to cook for us and that she is free to cook a few vegan meals for us during the week if she wants. But we are not going to completely change our diets for one person. But as far as the other suggestions, not happening. It's only 6 weeks, she said. It's changing our lifestyles for a little bit. A short period would kill us. No, 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 no. 1,000 times no. This is the entire attitude of the transgender people. It's like, you have to live by the way I want you to live. Because otherwise, I'm offended. I'm offended that you eat meat. I'm offended that you drink alcohol. It's triggering for me. My dad drank. Grow up. Grow up and get the hell out of my house.
Keep complaining, I'll beat you like your father used to, too.
I understand you love your son. But you got to say, it's like, man, you got to stay away from this nutcase. First of all, she doesn't eat meat. She's not getting the proper nutrition to her brain. And then, you got to watch what you drink, watch what you eat around her. People don't do that for God. People who are Jewish still have BLTs sometimes. Hate to break it to you. Sorry. I don't know what gives the people the audacity. You think you can come into somebody else's house, tell them you need to take down these mounts, you need to quit drinking alcohol around me, and stop eating meat, you killers. Get the hell out of my house. You're a guest. The audacity.
Not anymore, they're not guests.
They're ex-roommates who are not getting their security deposit back, which is $0. All right. Speaking of drinking, I guess I didn't drink last night, so I want to drink tonight. I think I've got beer on the mind. So next story on Reddit, guest who bolted from bride's dry wedding to go drinking is defended by therapist. I don't care what the therapist said. What a waste of time therapy is. A Reddit user who left a dry wedding to go drinking with their college friends did not necessarily do a wrong thing, but better communication between the couple and their guests would have been prevented to prevent most problems, the therapist told Fox News Digital. Am I the asshole for leaving a dry wedding early to go out? I don't care about the name. In the post, they revealed that 2 weeks ago, she and her husband attended a wedding down in their college town for a friend of theirs from college. We got a VRBO? With another couple I went to college with. My husband and I don't have a ton of time to ourselves away from the kids, so we're excited to let loose. When they got to the wedding, however, things were not as the couple expected. On the invitation, it said the wedding went to 11 p.m. with an after party at the bride and groom at the venue. The venue was a gorgeous mansion, and the bride and the groom had it for the night. Ceremony began at 5 p.m., and the reception began an hour later. As she and her husband arrived at the wedding, they found out there was not going to be any alcohol served, as the groom has been sober for 2 years. No one told us this, and we were admittedly bummed. And we found out there was no alcohol. People told us they were going to some bars after. We're not going to the after party.
Time out.
What?
Time out.
They probably didn't tell anybody.
The groom had been sober for 2 years.
Yes.
How good a friend are you?
Yeah. I don't know.
How good a friend are you? He's been sober for 2 years.
All right. I know you have this.
2 years. I drink, dude. I drink.
Yeah, kind of.
I would be aware of a friend that quit drinking 2 years ago.
Still, I guarantee you they didn't tell people it was going to be a dry wedding.
I agree with that. I agree with that. But were you completely blindsided?
All right. And I think that if you have a drinking problem, is availability the issue? Are you not allowed to go into a liquor store because you've been sober for 2 years?
Right. She could have brought a flask.
Right.
She could have brought a flask to the wedding.
That's why you tell people it's a dry wedding.
Dry, right. Yes.
So they could bring a flask.
I agree with
you. You didn't do that.
I agree with your logic.
Pretty much the whole college crew left at this time and went to a bar. Apparently the bride's friend group did not stay for the party. The grooms did, and the optics were very lopsided at the party. See, that's men. That's loyalty of men. It's like bride was upset that the friends left the party. She said she didn't feel supported and that the friends were somehow taking it out on her now husband for his sobriety. No, it's because you had a dry wedding. That's why. Sorry, it's a wedding. It's a celebration. Some of these people are already married. It's the only time they can get an excuse to get off of work is my best friend is getting married. And it's like, no, I don't know her husband's been sober for 2 years, but she's my best friend because I need a couple days off of work and cut loose with my husband at a wedding. And then you get to the wedding, it's dry. No. It's the 2 vacation days I had this year. I used them. I'm going to get my drink on. I don't care if your husband's in AA. I'm so sick and tired of people, selfish people, trying to make other people live that the way that they do. We don't want to live that way. And I mean, it's summer, so I'm incredibly mad about the smoking outside thing. Go outside for a cigarette. Get bent. I want to sit in air conditioning and have a cigarette. And you made this argument about secondhand smoke, and it convinced even me. And I'm like, screw you. I'm tired of living that way. You got something on your mind?
I do.
I'm about to end this show. Yeah.
This article versus the last article.
What? What's the difference?
Whose wedding is it?
Whose wedding?
Whose wedding is it?
Her wedding. Yeah.
It's her wedding. So if they choose to have a dry wedding, anybody that attends that wedding, whether they were aware that it was dry or not, you were invited. Now, should the bride be butthurt that somebody left that wanted to drink? Absolutely not. But should you be mad at the bride that they didn't let you know that there wasn't going to be booze at their wedding? Listen, they're getting married. It's the potentially biggest day of their lives. They're not worried about you getting your drink on. It's not always about you, Becky. Have some Fireball and calm the fuck down.
But there's no Fireball. There's no bar.
A pro-alcoholic would have had their own flask.
Of course. I'm not saying I wouldn't have alcohol. Always be prepared, all right? I'm talking about other people out there. These poor young married couples. They got kids at home. They never get to go out and have fun anymore. They go to the wedding.
I just want to point out to the audience that I've been poking this bear for about 15 minutes.
This one?
And I still haven't been attacked.
This bear?
Yes. I've been poking this bear for about 10 to 15 minutes, and I still haven't been attacked.
He's doing a gesture off screen like he's on camera. It's amazing. I'm going to end the show because I got to beat him or something. I don't know.
It'll make sense in retrospect.
Okay. You know, it's weird. You know, you're like these like spank me daddy people. These I don't know what to make of it. This is the end of the show. Please go over to Patreon. Patreon.com/shockmonkeyradio. Become a patron today. Send me money to Cash App. Hashtag shockmonkeyradio. Follow me on social media at DNALETSAW. That's the word wasteland spelled backwards on Twitter. And on Instagram, SLRobbins13 on Instagram. I also have books available for digital download. Search for the author Scott L. Robbins on Amazon.com. Scott L. Robbins with 2 T's and 2 B's. It's got the Bunny Years, a memoir, got the Ravings of a Madman, and the Exit 13 series. Or you can follow the links down in the description below. This has been Shock Monkey Radio. I'm the Madman, and I love you.